Today I'm going to be presenting a solution to some of the education problems we've been facing in the state of New Mexico. My solution is a program called Children of the Future. Before we can discuss my Children of the Future program, we need to discuss just why high-quality education is so important at an early age. When kids don't receive this type of education, they're more likely to drop out of school, become a teen mom, more likely to be placed in special education programs, and the likelihood of them attending college goes way down. They're also put at high risk for being arrested for a violent crime. It's important for the benefits of society that kids go to school and receive high-quality education at a young age. Education is also extremely important because strong education programs typically result in stronger economies. As we can see in the diagram below, education pays. Individuals who go to school longer and attend college typically make more money throughout the course of their lives. It's important that we train young students and get them ready for college so that they can make more of a contribution to society and to our economy. Additionally, we can conclude that poor education programs usually lead to a poor economy or a state of poverty. The graph on the left indicates graduation rates from the 2003-2004 school year. States that are white are states with the lowest graduation rates. Now, 10 years later, you'll notice to the chart on your right, the states that are in purple are the most impoverished states. These states have the highest level of poverty. Now, if you compare both of the charts, you'll notice that the states in white are almost identical to the states that are in purple. This indicates a correlation between graduation rates and poverty rates between the states. So how exactly are education and poverty connected? Well, if a child is born into a poverty-stricken neighborhood, he typically doesn't have the same opportunities that other kids do. He has to go to a lower-end school due to low levels of human capital in his area. He then becomes less productive and is more likely to drop out of school or to not graduate. If this same individual then has kids of his own one day, they're born into the same cycle. Now, these individuals promote poverty because they typically don't save as much money. They don't invest as much money into the economy because they're unable to, and therefore their economies continue to produce low levels of economic growth. As you can see, poverty is a downward spiral that many individuals get trapped in. So what exactly are some of the challenges that we're facing here in New Mexico? Well, first off, New Mexico's graduation rate is very poor. It's estimated that only 69.3% of our students graduate high school. That puts us back 48th in the nation. Our test scores are also very bad. Students are not very proficient in math or English, as you can see in the chart on the right. Students have to score a 4 or 5 on their PARCC tests, and we're definitely nowhere near the mark we want to be at. And with all these students failing to graduate high school, it's estimated that our economy is losing roughly $3.6 billion in lost wages. I want you guys to remember that number because it'll play a part later on when we're talking about the cost of my program. There is a way that we can get this money back. We can get this money circulated in our economy. And I'm going to show you guys how we're going to do it. So with such a bad graduation rate, we can definitely see that it's having an impact on New Mexico's poverty rate as well. Roughly 21.3% of our population lives in poverty. If we're looking at the chart above, that puts us second to last in the country. We're quite a bit higher than the national average of 15.9%. If we are to fix poverty in our state, we have to graduate more students. We have to get that graduation rate up. What I'm proposing is a program called Children of the Future. This is a mandatory after-school program that will effectively attack poverty and fix our education system here in New Mexico. This program is going to provide a multitude of benefits. It's going to give our kids high-quality childcare, make sure that all of our kids are fed. We're going to teach and give kids opportunities to further their education in the future and provide them learning in a poverty-free environment. We're going to do this by keeping kids off the streets, keeping them in a positive and structured home where they are free to succeed. We want to actually reduce time in the classroom, listening to lectures, and provide more hands-on learning for our students. Because kids will be at school for longer periods of the day, we're going to also eliminate homework. Homework that can sometimes be difficult for students that are living in an impoverished home. Here's a look at what our new school schedule is going to look like. School's going to start about the same time, at about 7 a.m., but beforehand we're going to make sure that all kids are fed before they begin their day. Classes are then going to go on until about noon, and then kids are going to go out to lunch. After lunch is when the Children of the Future program will start at roughly 12:30. This program will end at about 5 o'clock, and after that students will have the option to either go home or pursue athletic programs that will be offered after school. So what exactly are kids going to be learning about at the Children of the Future program? Well, it depends a lot based on how old the kids are. We have different goals set aside for kids that are in elementary school as opposed to middle school and high school. I'm going to talk about each age group in detail. We're going to begin by talking about kids that are in elementary school. Now, kids that are in elementary school, it's a very special time for them. This is the time in their lives where they establish a love for learning. We can get kids to fall in love with education and just enjoy learning new things just as much as some of these teachers enjoy teaching them. We want to eliminate some of these negative influences that some of these kids might face in poverty-stricken neighborhoods. By keeping them at school longer, we're going to continue to love and encourage these kids and provide them with fun, interactive learning exercises. These exercises are going to help kids work with others because it's important that at such a young age learn to interact with other students. And, of course, we want to teach them how to work independently as well. By keeping these kids at school longer throughout the day, it's also going to provide free childcare for a lot of their parents as well. So while kids are in middle school, we're going to have different goals set aside for them. Essentially what we want to do is help these kids explore different career paths. We want these kids to find out what they're good at, what they're passionate about, what they enjoy doing. And we're going to direct extra time teaching them about the economy, the industries in the world, politics, our environment. And our hope is that we can prepare these kids for the future. I really believe that it's important that kids are spending less time in the classroom and more time learning practical, applicable knowledge that'll help them out in the future. When kids hit high school, we're going to help them put into practice some of the things that they've been learning about throughout the course of their lives through the program. High school is going to be an interesting time for them. What we hope to do is introduce them to internships, um, internships in their community focused around business, internships at the universities, the laboratories, and some of the healthcare facilities in the areas. We want kids that are in high school to learn about what it takes to hold a job. We want them to learn how to save money and how to invest money. And we want to teach these kids how to contribute to the community. The labor that these kids will be providing is going to help the community as well, because we're going to provide cheap labor for businesses and universities and other programs. At the same time, these kids are going to establish valuable connections in the community. They're going to meet employers, and they're going to get their foot in the door. And all these skills they're going to learn will help them in the future when they're applying for colleges and when they do eventually begin their career path. And by keeping kids involved, we hope to eliminate other distractions and other impoverished conditions that they could face. In other words, we're going to keep these kids off the streets. So if we were to sum up the goals of my program, it would look something like this. So when kids first go to school, in elementary school and preschool, we want to reduce the effects of their impoverished environment. We want to encourage and excite these kids about learning and set them up for their futures. When they hit middle school, we want to teach these kids about the world, how it works, and find out what the kids are passionate or good at. And this will transition into high school, where the kids learn valuable experiences at internships and working for other businesses and companies. And we hope that by interning, they'll establish some valuable connections and also contribute to society as well. Now, what are some things that we're going to need to make this program a reality? Obviously, by keeping kids in school longer throughout the day, it's going to cost more money. To have kids go to school at about 6 or 7 in the morning and stay till 5 at night, we're going to have to pay additional teachers or give current teachers more hours. It's my hope that eventually we can hire teachers specifically for my program, but I know that practically not a lot of adults will want to work 5-hour shifts throughout the day. So we do need to implement additional training for teachers that we have already. We'll also have to pay for additional food for our students if we're to make sure that they're all fed. An important part, I believe, eliminating poverty is also eliminating hunger. And so I think that those additional funds will be put to good use. It's necessary that we spend this extra money to make money in the future. Again, if we train these kids properly, if we can get these kids fitted in the workplace and into college, the benefits will outweigh the costs. And so if we can effectively reduce poverty, we'll all get our money back. The money that our current generation will make in the future is going to pay back all the money that we have to invest into this extra education. By providing quality training and implementing these students into their career fields, they'll eventually make more money and will live in a more prosperous and stronger economy. And of course, it'll allow these young people to contribute more to society, both now and in the future. So what exactly does our budget look like for this program? Well, currently, New Mexico is spending about $6.2 billion on education. The majority of it goes to operational funds, paying their teachers, and the other half falls along different lines. We pay for grants, transportation, current debt, capital funds, food, and materials. The budget I'm proposing for this Children of the Future program would require an additional $1.3 billion towards operational funds. So this extra money will, again, go to paying those teachers for the additional hours needed throughout the day. Now again, I will reiterate, this program will effectively and dramatically reduce poverty that we see in our neighborhoods and in our communities in New Mexico. We're going to provide kids with a stronger education system that will better them in the future and will help them contribute more to society. My main heart behind this program is that we continue to encourage and empower students to succeed regardless of where they live. We want to give everyone an equal opportunity to achieve the American dream. Poor kids, rich kids, black kids, white kids, Hispanic kids, no matter what nationality that these kids say they are, we want everybody an equal opportunity to receive a high quality education. And I believe by doing this program, we will better New Mexico now and in the years to come. This concludes my presentation. Thank you so much for your time.